Hey guys, Level Cap here. Today I've got a truly crazy round with the Yugumo Japanese destroyer in World of Warships. This is a tier 9 ship. It's on the torpedo side of the destroyer progression tree. Japan has 2 trees for destroyers. I've already progressed all the way down the gunboat side, and one of my favorite ships in the game is the Kitakaze. This is sort of the torpedo boat tier 9 equivalent for the Japanese, and I haven't been using it all that long. I'm progressing towards the Shimikaze, the final torpedo boat for Japan, which has a 15 torpedo broadside ability. This one here has an 8 torpedo broadside, but I just started to run it with the torpedo reload booster instead of taking smoke, and that allows me to, once I have a torpedo reload boost available, to reload my torpedo tubes and fire another 8 after the first 8 for a potential of 16 torpedoes in a pretty short succession. So if I know I've got a vulnerable target, sometimes it's worth doing that torp reload boost and putting all 16 torpedoes out in a spread to try and do as much damage as possible. However, running without smoke means I need to be as careful as possible. If I get myself into a pickle, I don't have any safety smoke to plop down and try and mitigate incoming fire and get myself off of that map and detection. Now, I've decided to go Scout A with the Yugumo. Its short detection radius, 5.5 kilometers, with the captain skills, allows me to get in pretty darn close to enemy ships, oftentimes spotting them before they see me. And I've also got radio positioning turned on as a captain skill, which is that little white crescent in the top center of the screen, and that tells me where my closest target is, approximately, within a certain degree of accuracy. And so I've spotted this enemy destroyer here. I'm putting torpedoes right on the edge of that island there, and then torpedoes on a path in case he continues to go straight. My prediction was that he was going to turn around this island, which he is doing right now. I've been detected momentarily. I take a shot, but I know I'm going to get behind this island, which will conceal me. So I get a little bit of gun damage there, but I'm not really a boat designed to win in a stand-up gunfight against other destroyers. The guns are fun to use, but the rate of fire is very slow, that the damage per second is a bit low, and I'll probably lose, especially to that Soviet destroyer that is designed to gunfight other DDs. Now I'm tracking these torpedoes through the smoke. It looks like I might have missed him here. I've almost given up hope, but nope. We get a nice hit on him as he's trying to run away there. I'm actually really surprised he didn't get the dodge, but he's a slightly bigger destroyer, and we just predicted that perfectly. A little bit of a lucky hit there, but you know what? I'll take it. So early game, we've taken out our destroyer matchup. It looks like my next closest target is a battleship or the cruiser out there, and so I know I've pretty much got free reign to capture A. And if they want to push me, then they're going to be pushing into a wall of torpedoes. However, there is a tier 9 Italian cruiser out there, the Brindisi, which I actually was not that familiar with, and I didn't realize it was even an Italian cruiser in the first place, and Italian cruisers have torpedoes, so I was not actually expecting any sort of torpedo fire here, but they do have the torpedo capability. And in fact, the captain of that ship is High Fire. You might notice I'm in the Fire Clan. That is the leader of the Fire Clan. And at the start of the round, I was like, oh, hey, hello there. Funny seeing you in this game. And so now we're facing off against each other. And I decided that this was an appropriate time to use my torpedo reload boost. So you see my first wave of 8 torpedoes out in front, followed up with a second wave. I did kind of an odd spread there, trying to anticipate a bunch of movements, but at extreme distances, it can be difficult. The USS Iowa out there, though, the nice big fat American battleship, is a nice juicy target, and he's been battling my other ships, and I think he's just starting to figure out that, hey, guess what, buddy? Despite you being behind this island, you are very much spotted, and you're providing a nice target for my torpedo volleys. And so he's going to start to turn tail pretty quickly and try and get out of here. The Brindisi actually almost comes into my torpedo volley as well, but the Iowa is basically spotting them out for him. So he's able to dodge the follow-up torps, but the Iowa takes 2. Sadly, the second torpedo does not cause flooding there. The first torpedo did. He's able to repair through that. And all of a sudden, I see the torpedoes coming out from the Brindisi, which are notorious for being pretty slow, but oh my god, did they almost catch me there. And I popped my engine boost ability earlier, so that gave me a little bit of extra oomph to try and hit the brakes and dodge this torpedo. However, the thing about the Brindisi is that it's got torpedo launchers on both sides, and if you're watching his path, he did a full circle to launch the second volley, and I almost speed right up into the second volley. This one a little bit less close, and the engine boost helps out there. Now that I've seen both volleys of torpedoes, though, I'm pretty confident that nothing else is coming. Even though I'm not that familiar with the Brindisi, I don't think he's got 3 volleys of torpedoes, because that would be kind of crazy for a cruiser. Now, at this point in the game, I glance up at the scoreboard, expecting to see my team with a bit of an advantage there, because I 1v1'd a destroyer without taking any damage, and now I'm putting torpedoes into their battleships. I'm figuring that, hey, we're probably doing all right. Nope, we're actually down 2 destroyers and a cruiser to their 2 destroyers over there, and we've completely lost the right flank on the map. Watching this replay back, I noticed that our entire right flank collapses systematically, and so that can be kind of a rough thing in World of Warships. Is you're like, I'm totally owning on my side of the map, and then you look back at the other side of the map and you're like, oh, our team lost the entire flank, their enemy fleet is flanking around behind us now, and they're basically going to pincer us and systematically destroy us. Meanwhile, I get a rear torpedo hit on this Iowa that is running away and probably cursing right now because he's getting hunted down by a destroyer that he really can't do anything against. He doesn't have any destroyers defending him because I killed that one destroyer that was over here, and so now he's kind of my bitch for the rest of the round, and he's going to run away and return fire at my fleet while trying to be as mindful and dodgy of my incoming torpedoes. Now, it's not always the easiest thing to hit a fleeing battleship with torpedoes, especially a battleship that is very much aware that you are trying to hit it with torpedoes. And in fact, the last torpedo hit on him is still causing some flooding damage. However, a single torpedo hit on an Iowa is not going to be the end of the world to him. They're designed to absorb a little bit of torpedo damage, even if it is a very powerful Japanese torpedo, and he's already recovered from his flooding there, so that damage is going to subside. Really, for a torpedo boat to take out a battleship, you've got to get a good broadside with like 4 hits in a row, or just be the last hit of damage on one of them. So I'm right now mostly just harassing these ships, causing them to change their angles, possibly causing them to miss shots, delay their shots, display broadside angles to my fleet. And that last torpedo hit did cause flooding, but he managed to repair it right away. So I think the first torpedo flood there was just a natural recovery from the flooding, and so he's mitigated quite a bit of potential damage there. So I'm kind of upset about that. We've hit a lot of torpedoes on this one Iowa. He, again, is probably super annoyed right now because he's just this slow boat, and I can sort of toy with him over here. I'm not being challenged. Nobody's got radar. Nobody's got sonar. So it's an ideal situation for me. Unfortunately, their ships are not clumped up anymore, so I'm having to more selectively target a single boat. And I figure, you know what, this Iowa has been pretty bad at dodging these torpedoes so far. Why not continue to go for him? We've now lost 3 destroyers. They've lost 3 destroyers, but we're also down 2 cruisers, which is not good. And again, our right flank is collapsing more and more. And I'm watching this torpedo volley move in on the Iowa over here. I'm following the torpedoes. I'm thinking, is he going to actually let me get 2 hits on him here? That is totally crazy. And sure enough, 1 and 2 for the kill on the Iowa. I mean, I just blasted him with torpedoes endlessly there. Poor guy, feel kind of bad for him, but feel good about dealing damage and taking a battleship out of the equation. You're welcome, team. Let's see if you can capitalize on that. Now, right now, my team seems to be balling up towards A, and we've got a few outliers to the south of B, sort of towards our spawn, that are going to get focus fired by the enemy team. Balling up isn't necessarily the worst strategy. It can be good for focus firing as soon as the ship comes into range, and they're targeting that cruiser on B right now, and that can be decent, actually. I've seen a lot of teams come back from positioning where it looks like they're just really squeezed into one corner of the map, and it turns out that if the enemy team trickles in, they're just going to blow them away. And so I think my team was maybe hoping that that might happen. They do get a cruiser kill there, which is an important kill. The cruiser was a little bit out of position, the closest to my fleet, and he got taken out pretty quickly. But we still have our exposed targets towards the south of the map that are trying to run away there. and things are getting hairy. I'm trying to keep pressure on these northern battleships here. I think ideally I would like to be on the south end of the map right now and put pressure on the ships that are being more aggressive towards my fleet. But traveling all that way and repositioning and stuff, I just don't think we have the time for it. So I'm going to try and see what I can do on these battleships here. They don't really have any defense against me right now, so I'm free to continue taking torpedo shots against them. But we lost again just now, another ship towards the south there. So our fleet is really just going for ball positioning, and I'm moving in towards this Musashi. I can see that he's going to try and maybe get behind some of these islands here. I want to see if I can get a good torpedo hit on him before he makes it there. So we've got 7 seconds left on the torpedo recharge. I'm going to try my best at predicting a shot. I see that he's going for behind this island here. You can see his movement trajectory on the mini map. I'm going to try and get him right before he makes it behind that island. So I'm feeling pretty good about this volley here. I feel like the Musashi is just on a crash course for that island. Unless he hits the brakes in anticipation of dodging my torps, we should be pretty good. Unfortunately, though, our battleship, the Alsace, has broken formation with our fleet, and instead of sticking in the protective area of firepower, he's decided to go Rambo against the entire enemy fleet, flying right into them. Not really sure what he's thinking. He gets deleted very quickly. Unfortunate there, because we really could have used his firepower. He probably could have kited around these islands a bit. I'm back to following these torpedoes. They look like they're going to line up for the Musashi here. Let's see what they can do. 1, 2, and 3 hits for the kill. That was a very, very critical kill right there. That really limits their firepower on the north end of the map. If my team is clever, they can finish off that last Iowa on the northern end of the map without taking too much fire maybe from the south end. But at this point, it does appear that their fleet is going to be able to close in around us, and they now have a pretty significant firepower advantage. There's no cover out here. It's just open waters, and my whole fleet is giving them what appears to be broadside angles. So I've changed my trajectory back down towards the south end of the map, because at this point I'm like, well, I can't chase that Iowa forever. I'm not going to be effective chasing that Iowa. Let my fleet deal with them, and I will start putting pressure on the enemy fleet coming up from the south here and try and keep them at bay. If they play too aggressively, then they're going to take some torpedoes, and maybe, just maybe, we can get a bunch more good torpedo hits and turn the tide. They've still got the Alsace and the Rune, who are both each going to take a single torpedo, which is really good. The Rune is almost dead now. German cruisers, they don't have radar, so I don't have to worry about him spotting me out here. I can basically play as close as I want, although the Kitakaze is down towards the south end of the map, who's also a big threat for me. Unfortunately, I can't really take on a Kitakaze in this thing. I don't have the firepower, the guns for it, so unless I get a lucky torpedo hit, he's going to beat me in a stand-up fight. So I'm going to try again my best. Their fleet is really bunching up together. This is really an ideal position to try and just land as many torpedo hits as possible. They know I'm out here. They know I'm torping them right now. They each took a torp out there, so the fleet is ready. They're on guard to try and dodge torpedoes, and I'm hoping that my fleet will capitalize on the Rune. If I had smoke, I might actually have smoked up at this point and tried to take out the Rune on my own with my guns, but unfortunately going for the torpedo reload boost doesn't give me that opportunity. And I'm waiting for my fleet to start shooting at the Rune. There's been too many shots aimed at battleships, and I'm like, guys, can we blow up the target there that just needs 1 or 2 volleys? And finally, they catch him on fire, and I think he goes down to fire damage. Now, Team Red knows that they have to capture one of the points on the map in order to turn the tides. They're down in tickets, which gives my team sort of the ability to move where they want to move and fight where they want to fight. Team Red has to capture a point in order to basically turn the tides, get the ticket bleed in their favor. They also are going to have to kill some more of our ships, so they've got their work cut out for them. They are on the cap point. They're capping. If they take damage, though, it will reduce their progress on the cap, but we are abandoning A right now, and so they're capping up A. The Kitakaze is capping A. The Alsace can't really fight a Kitakaze effectively because of the spotting distances and the Kitakaze having torpedoes. It's a little too dangerous. The Alsace is separated now, and he is going to get hunted down. Meanwhile, Team Red is going to try their hardest to try and capture B as well. In fact, it appears that they're really going for a full cap on the map, which could change things drastically. Even being down by about 250 points, a little over that, they could come back from this if they full cap on the map. In fact, my confidence in my team right now is at a pretty low level because I'm like, oh great, now they're capping the entire map. You've been baited out by chasing this Iowa down, which sort of made sense at one point, and now that you're looking at the map layout, you're like, oh, we just handed them the entire map, and they're not really using cover. They're giving a lot of easy broadsides right now to the enemy team. Things are not looking great, and our Alsace is out on its own, getting hunted down by superior firepower. So they're about to capture B, they're capturing B right now, and all of a sudden, we don't have ticket bleed, and things are really bad for us. And now my team is in a position where they have to make some plays. They have to make some power plays in that they have to get some enemy kills. Now, I just took a really bad torpedo shot. Sometimes you think a ship is going for a certain channel, and then you look at the map and you realize that they're actually turning away already. And once those torpedoes let fly, you're like, oh crap, those are just going to miss. Like, there's no way they're going to hit. They've already turned off the mark. And then I realized that I've almost driven into spotting range of this Iowa up here. The Iowa that my team has been hunting down the entire time. I hope it was worth it giving up the entire rest of the map. At least my team finally takes him out, but my team's not in a great position. They're hurt. They're chugging along on, reduced health up there. They're not going to last too much longer, and now they're in a position where they have to push down into the rest of the map. The enemy team now has the map position, the map advantage. My team, although moving together and able to focus fire, they're still giving massive broadside to the enemy, and they should really be... well, they really shouldn't be in the position they're in right now. And there goes our cruiser. So we're down to 2 battleships versus 2 battleships and their cruiser, plus 2 destroyers left on the field. And at this point, I'm starting to get real worried that Kitakaze is going to show up. He was hunting down our Alsace on the lower left corner of the map, and he's probably almost back up here, almost within spotting range of me. And I do have the little radio locator ability so I can see who's closest to me, but I'm getting nervous that Kitakaze is gonna pop out soon. He could be moving really close to one of the enemy ships, so I could be mistaking the locator for a battleship when in fact it's the Kitakaze moving in close. So now I'm like, crap, my ability as a destroyer is going to get immediately challenged by their Kitakaze, and we just don't have the time to play slow with the Yugumo. The Yugumo is a slow ship. It needs the whole round to basically do significant damage and start whittling down the enemy team with its torpedoes. And now I'm basically out of time. We got to get some good torpedo hits here, but the Iowa looks like it's going to take a hit. Sure enough, it does. No flooding damage, but still a hit is a hit. Now the Iowa becomes one of the more obvious targets for my fleet to potentially focus down. He might turn away here and try and not give them as much broadside. And in fact, my team in chat is saying broadside to everyone right now, because my battleships are literally giving broadside to everyone. I strike another torpedo hit on the Alsace, which is great. Both Iowa and Alsace are very much hurt right now. I'm doing my best to try and whittle them down. The Iowa took a heavy hit there, but we just lost one of our battleships, despite me torpedoing their battleships. And I'm looking at that torpedo spread. I'm like, whoa, hey, wait a minute. And there we go. Finish off the Iowa for my team. So thinking, is there a chance? They've got 900 tickets now. My teammate is trying to cap a point. I don't even know if it's worthwhile. I realize that there's no way we win this match because of the health of their ships. I have to go balls out and charge one of their battleships and just try and get a full broadside of torpedoes on them to even have a chance at winning this game. And there's the Kitakaze. Plans are foiled. I'm too committed already. It's over at this point. I'm not going to be able to escape. I'm going full speed this direction. My hope is that maybe I can survive long enough to get these torpedoes off and get an Alsace kill, but once I go down, I think the round is over. We're at 990 tickets now. My torpedoes are going in the water. Even if I got this kill at this point, it just wouldn't be enough. We needed a Hail Mary. It didn't quite happen. I got very close to getting a crack in that round. 4 kills. A huge amount of damage, 258,000 damage, definitely the most I've ever done in the Yugumo. 16 torpedo hits, 12 floodings, 1 fire at the very end there against the Kitakaze. Really incredible game for me. I was a bit disappointed in my team's performance, but that seems to be the way things go, especially in high damaging games. You're like, how did I do this much damage? It's because my team wasn't doing any damage. The Alsace on the enemy team ended up getting 6 kills, so he was definitely MVP of the round. But it was a crazy game, one of those games that I feel is like a good showcase of just what craziness can happen in World of Warships. So it looked like we were going to win at first. My team kind of crapped the bed, if you will, and then we lost at the last minute. But lots of ships getting blown up, lots of cool explosions. Fun gameplay, even from a Yugumo, which is not my favorite ship out there. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy these World of Warships gameplays that I pop up every now and then. And I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.